Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're just joining me for the first time, thanks so much for clicking into this video. We're going to be doing something a little bit fun today. We're going to be doing a little bit of a cold sniff and first burn impressions preview of two new fragrances that are launching from Kringle Candle next week. That is Bottle Rocket and Cherry Pie. And these are going to be coming out on Thursday, May 22nd at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And these are going to be released only, I believe, in this format here. This is the large 22-ounce jar, 100% soy wax, white wax, Kringle Style Jar. There won't be mediums or daylights or wax melts or anything like that as far as I know. And I think this is somewhat of a limited run. I don't know how limited, but these were kind of just a special summer add-on to the already released spring summer line. So I'm not sure how much they have in terms of quantity, but nevertheless, as an ambassador, I was able to pre-order these. So if you're wondering how I have them already, even though they haven't released yet, I am a Kringle Candle ambassador, and every once in a while when something new comes out, we get the opportunity to do a pre-order where we can get our hands on stuff a little bit sooner so that we can get information out there to you guys ahead of the launch. So I know some ambassadors were gifted these candles, but I did purchase them. And so just so you guys know, when you use my affiliate code Simply Scented, you get 15% off of your purchase, and I do get a small commission. So essentially, when I get those commissions, it goes into purchases like these so that I can do these preview videos. So thank you guys to everyone who's ever used that code. You make videos like this possible. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. And as I said before, this is just going to be like early impressions. I will be coming back on here next week to do more in-depth reviews, single reviews of each fragrance once I've had more time to burn them. So this is really just for fun. A lot can change between now and then. So this is more for curiosity's sake. We're all curious anytime there's something new available. So stay tuned for my full reviews, put a little bit more weight into that than my early thoughts here. And if you want to be alerted for those reviews when they're ready, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and that really helps me out as well. So I'm going to try to keep this brief because we only have two here. I have a little bit more to say about Cherry Pie than I do Bottle Rockets, but we're going to try to keep this sort of general, just early descriptions here. And I know some of you are thinking, sure, Rach, you're going to keep this short. I'm going to try my best. So without further ado, let's jump right into these. So we'll start here with Bottle Rocket. All right, I'm going to try to hopefully avoid some of the glare here. I have to have my light on today because it's so dark here. Hopefully you can see that. It's a nice label. I like, this whole big image here. I feel like we've seen this label from another company before, but I do like it better on this large style format. But for Bottle Rocket, this is your, obviously we're looking at something in this sort of bomb pop realm of fragrances here. This is very fruity. We've got notes here of cherry, fruit, citrus, orange, raspberry, and sugar. So I know some were wondering if this was a repackage of the limited edition that came out last year in the Country Candle. I think it was called Summer Cooler. The notes on that one were different. I didn't have that one personally, so I'm hoping that others will probably weigh in on, how similar this is. But I feel like it's probably a different fragrance. Usually when they repackage, the notes are pretty darn close or the same. So this being different, I feel like this is probably a different fragrance, but probably still in that same sort of family where maybe if you like one, you like the other. Again, because I didn't purchase that one, I can't really say which one I prefer, but I do like this one more than I would have expected. And arguably, I'm going to say I might even like it more than Cherry Pie. I know, I'm surprised too. I am a gourmand lover. Fruity is not really my, my main sort of go-to style of fragrance, but I really like this one. This one reminds me, again, maybe it's the nostalgia, because this reminds me of an old Yankee Candle cherry lemonade. So if you've smelled cherry lemonade, it's been around for a long time, so maybe some of you are familiar with it. They've brought it back a lot as well. It's like very much sort of almost like a maraschino type of cherry with lemonade. This I feel like is a very similar cherry note. This is like in that sort of maraschino, almost syrupy like cherry family. But instead of just like on a lemonade background, this is like a little bit more of a citrusy blend. I get a hint of a lime here, a hint of that orange. Do get a little bit of that lemon as well, but it's just very, very summer. It's almost got an icy tone to it. It reminds me a lot of those like Luigi's Italian ices. If you ever buy those in your freezer section at the grocery store, those little cups. It's almost like when you pull the wrapper off of there when I open this. This is like a really nice, refreshing sort of summer scent. I don't get a lot of raspberry so far, but there is a sugary tone to this as well. It's almost, I want to say for some, this might be a little too sweet. But I'm liking this one so far. I did one burn on this just to kind of get a feel for it. I feel like the cold to warm transition, it didn't change a ton. It did change a little bit, but it wasn't like some like huge evolution. What I get on cold, I did get a lot of that while burning. It just became more nuanced. There was more coming out, which we will get into once I review this fully, once I've had more burn time. But so far, so good. I'm really enjoying, you know, the cold sniff here. I think I'm going to enjoy burning this, especially on warmer days. But that's Bottle Rockets. And if you're a fruity fan, I would say definitely keep this on your radar. I can't even think of if there's any other ones that I could compare it to. I feel like Bath & Body Works has to have something. Oh, you know what? There's an old Bath & Body Works that comes to mind a little bit. Pink Sangria, if you guys remember Pink Sangria from like early 2000s maybe. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I like this one. There's just something about it that I like. So that's Bottle Rockets. And again, we'll revisit that one at a later time. Hopefully, I'm hoping to have these reviews up by Wednesday at the latest. Usually my filming days are like Mondays and Wednesdays. So depending on how much I've been able to burn it in the meantime, it'll either be up on Monday or Wednesday next week. All right, moving on here with Cherry Pie. Again, with this glare, I'm sorry guys. Okay. So I guess, you know what, here, we'll start with the question I know a lot of people had, you know, is Cherry Pie a repackage or, you know, the Kringle Candle transition of Cherry Crumble? No, if you're worried about that, no, these are different to me, very different. I don't even feel like this is a tweaked version of Cherry Crumble. I feel like they're in two entirely different concepts. Cherry Crumble, much more in line with your Cherry Cobbler, where you have a lot of that sort of fruity, jammy sort of filling with that little bit of soft pastry sort of spread throughout the top. Yeah, this is very much a different sort of quality. You get the fruit first, I feel like, in this one with the pastry to the back. And here we've got the opposite. That's much more in keeping with a cherry pie, where you have that crust kind of encompassing all the fruit, because here I get that crust note first with the cherry to the background. The cherry note's different, the crust note is different. So if you were worried they're the same, definitely not the same to me. The notes here on Cherry Pie are cherry, pastry, fruit, citrus, buttery, and vanilla. So, guys, I'm going to be honest. I am on the fence with this one. And just because I'm on the fence early doesn't mean this is not going to win me over, but I'm always going to keep it honest with you guys. There's something about this one that I'm not totally in love with at this point. I said I get that crust note first. It's pretty much an authentic crust note. It's not a super sweet crust. It's kind of like that dense, like a true pie crust. If you're looking for like authenticity in pie crust, this is really close to an authentic pie crust, where I said this one feels a little bit more flaky and you know, just lighter in the cherry crumble. Definitely more of a true crust note here. The thing that's getting me with this one is I'm not totally in love with the cherry note. There's something about the cherry note that is almost slightly artificial. It's almost like, I don't want to say like anything that's like, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but the thing that kind of comes to mind is almost like a waxy cherry, like those cherry, maybe like those wax lips that we used to have as a kid. They almost had like a cherry flavor to it, or those little bottle cap candies where you bite off the wax and then you have like that cherry flavored juice in the middle. On cold, I just smell a lot of like that almost waxy fake cherry. Now, there is a little bit of a sort of Bing cherry, like dark cherry tone to it that I feel like was starting to transition a little bit. I did one burn on this. So that's why I say don't put a whole lot of weight into what I'm saying here on cold, because as I burn this, there's a very good chance that this will kind of win me over a little bit more. And that this, you know, scent will sort of develop into what it's meant to be. But on cold, it's just, there's something that I'm not totally loving. And yeah, I think we'll probably leave it at that. I'm not saying it's bad. It's not like off-putting. It's just not exactly what I was expecting. And it's funny because I did a video recently. It was my buy one, get one video where I bought a second jar of cherry crumble. And this one I talked about how they kind of did the cherry here in a roundabout way. They used raspberry jam and wild berry to kind of create this more jammy, almost pie-like filling type of cherry note that smells like resembling a cherry without a true cherry note. And I said maybe that is actually working in its favor, because sometimes if you don't nail down that cherry note, you know, it can make things go awry. It's funny because I almost feel like, you know, here it's the cherry note. We have a true cherry note this time, and that's what's getting me here. But again, there's a chance it will win me over. So, you know, I think we'll just leave it at that. We'll come back to this one. I'm going to try to get a really good burn on this to talk about this more next week in the full review. But so far, that's where I'm at. I do have a lot more to say. We can talk a little bit more about that crust note as well. But yeah, cherry pie, I think, you know, some of you will probably really like it. And a lot of this is probably subjective too. So, you know, the way it hits my nose might be different than the way it hits yours. And thankfully, there's a lot of people that will be reviewing this for you guys. So, yeah, with that said, I think we'll close with that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And again, make sure you're subscribed if you want to get alerts for when these reviews are ready. But thank you guys so much. I hope you're having a great week. I'll talk to you soon.